focused primarily on effects for television. We've written our own pipeline management tools, have developed techniques and artists in a way that we can do television very efficiently. We're doing some of the highest level effects for television. We're doing really the full gamut of effects. Simulations, water, smoke, fire. We have set processes and tools that give us a great deal of confidence in doing photoreal water, for example.
The schedules on episodic television are usually very, very short. Often, sometimes as short as 2 weeks from the time we get a shot till we have to deliver it as a final.
What we try to do is build in a little bit of time ahead of that if we can have a tight collaboration with our clients to add another week or two. But essentially, you're in a 2 to 3 week turnaround time for everything you're doing for an episodic television show. Our goal is that these could hold up in a feature environment. That's one of the reasons that we focused on really developing a super efficient pipeline communication system. And we have integrated Autodesk as well as our other CG tools, our compositing tools, and our delivery system into a highly integrated pipeline that allows us to move at the pace we need to for television.
Our main goal was to make a very modular pipeline. Basically, a pipeline that would scale with time to actually put out more than 1,000 shots a week in CG and in comp.
For our bigger effect shows, take Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as an example, or American Horror Story, we're doing anywhere from 50 to 200 shots in an episode. For Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for example, a good proportion of those shots are all CG shots, or 80% of the screen is CG elements. So 50, 60, 70 shots at that level of complexity and with that much computer graphics is very demanding, and everybody has to be working in sync.
Well, we're the primary vendor on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so we built many assets for that show, including airplanes, helicopters, flying cars, digital doubles, set extensions, water, fire, smoke. One of the things we've been adding also into the set extensions is a lot of digital characters in the background, and we are now using Populate and 3ds Max, which has been a great tool to have. We use a mix of Character Studio and CAT with the characters in the backgrounds. We often keyframe specific actions in with CAT, and whenever we need mocap, we usually use Biped for that. But Populate has been a great tool for adding generic people idle in the backgrounds and people walking around as well.
Hell on Wheels has been a great show for us. Once they started to see our capability and the production value we could add with our CG elements and extensions, they started writing more and more into the show. So we ended up developing an all-CG environment that tied directly into some of their shooting locations, and then went to full CG shots with the train crossing the trestle and the trestle being all CG, and really were able to fulfill their storyline in the season with a lot of our environments and CG shots.
The important thing for us was to limit the amount of time that it takes to somebody to take a train, put it on the tracks, and make it move.
And we now have tools that allow us to just literally draw a spline out, click a few buttons, and we've got a fully operational train on that spline that has tracks, and we have custom controls to add an engineer to the engine, as well as natural movement to the cars. The faster the train's driving, the cars will rock back and forth a little.
We always try to take all the manual work out, and that's what that tool ended up to be, and so many other tools that we have built in this facility.
Salem is a very dark show. We did these shots where a guy gets his face scalped off. This face was supposed to come alive at some point in the show. And this other practical effects house created this amazing prop that the client really loved. And they said, we love this face, recreate it exactly, but it needs to talk. So what we did is we took the practical prop, shot a bunch of stills of that, and we used recap software to basically reconstruct a 3D model from the practical prop. So that rough base model was then used to create a series of morph targets, and then we used some off-the-shelf facial motion capture software to recreate the performance of the actor and use that to drive the animation of the face.
Visual effects being what it is, it's a really challenging industry, and FuseFX has really been able to establish itself as one of the key players for television. We feel like the artists, the tools, the systems that we put in place are a great foundation to continue to grow our capabilities. And we're looking forward to continuing to do more and more and bigger work for both television and features as well.